Hello guys and gals, welcome back. We're following on from last week where we studied Neil Conway's chords in Crystal Waters' Gypsy Woman, and today we're going to be making our own. I'm going to take you through the process of making your own jazzy house chord progressions without knowing any jazzy house chords. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing we need is a rhythm. Now, I've already picked one here, but if you want to know how I arrived at this decision, go and watch the video called So You Got a Simple Chord Progression, Now What? It's the one where I rolled some dice to make a chord progression. In a nutshell, I've just copied a vocal rhythm. The vocal in question here is one by Tasia Sky. It's called Overdrive.
Can't stop this feeling 'cause it seems so right. Only you can make me come alive.
As you can see, this lines up more or less with the vocal rhythm.
Can't stop this feeling 'cause it seems so right. Only you can make me come alive. You can make me come alive. You got my mind.
You get the idea. Let's put that on a chord. So we're showing in A minor. This vocal's actually in F sharp though, so you'll see that we've pitched down -3. So we're listening in F sharp, but I'm showing in A to keep it simple. All the white notes. So we miss one, press one, miss one, press one. I think I'd like to move this note left one. That should give us a little more groove at the beginning. Yes. So there's our one chord. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to make a 4-bar pattern. Now, Gypsy Woman had the first 2 bars on the one chord and then a turnaround. What I'd like to do is try 1 bar on the one chord and then a turnaround each time. There's no better place to start than the classic 2-5-1. Remember we talked about that? I'm just going to put a normal 2 and 5 in. So 2 would be B, 5 is on the E. So our first turnaround is a 2-5. Obviously we come back to 1. Obviously 2 always sounds weird in minor. I'm going to come back to that. What we're going to do for the second time, let's see, what variation can we do? I want to try 6. We can get a 4 in there, can't we? If you saw my video on how to chord any melody, you'll know that works. Shall I go up or down? How can we bridge back to the 1? Let's try 6, 4, 7. That will do for now. I'm going to duplicate again. I've already had an idea how we turn around at the very end. What I wanted to do here was a little nod to the original where, if you remember, it was 2, flat 2, and then back to 1. We call that a chromatic movement. Chromatic just basically means using all the in-between notes. But we could start on 3, so we could go 3, 2, flat 2, 1. Whatever we do here is going to get repeated. Again, a bit like the original. I'm hoping the jazzification, as it were, will make this middle turnaround a bit better. We'll see. So, speaking of the jazzification, if it's not a word, it is now. Our jazzification starts with some extensions. Same rules, miss 1, press 1, miss 1, press 1. I do like 9th chords, so we're going to start with the 9th, like the one in Gypsy Woman. Yep, sounds legit. So what does this sound like as a 7th? 7th? Yeah, let's have a look. Let's try a different voicing. Remember, voicing just means swapping the order of the notes. I'm going to copy the octave down. Let's just erase, say, these 2. Get rid of these 2. How does that sound? It's not too bad. How does it resolve to the ninth? I can see that working. Now, if you remember, Crystal Waters had a flat ninth. Let me show this in simple terms. So there's our chord. That'd be 7. This would be 9. If you look at the 1 chord here, we've got our ninth. The ninth is basically the same as note 2. It's note 2 of the scale. It becomes 9 because it's stacked on top of a 3, 5, and 7. But if I copy our 1 chord to our 5, you see this would normally be 2. But in our scale, it gets flattened. So we already have a flat 9. Again, let's change the voicing. Sounds strange. Let me try extending by 1 more. Let's try an 11th. So if this is our 9th, this is our 11th. And that gives us some common tones. Let's have a listen. Now we're getting somewhere. Now here we can do what Neil did in Gypsy Woman when he used a proper minor chord for chord 2 instead of the one in the scale, the diminished. So we can temporarily ignore the scale. If we just copy chord 1 and pitch it up. Obviously we get this F sharp. And now you can see we get this chromatic run down. You'll see from G, F sharp, F to E. That should sound nice. Yes. I like that. That's a keeper. Let's move that over here. Let me add our 9ths to this last chord. Let's add some 7s here. That would line up nicely. Okay, something's not right here. Let's go fully chromatic. Yes, that's much better. You can see that's just the same chord moving down. Just copied down and down. So you can see this is another nice jazzification here. Because remember, we're supposed to be in A minor, which is all the white notes. So these aren't in the scale. None of these are. Is that a problem? No. All it means is this progression is not what we call diatonic. Diatonic harmony just means entirely within the scale. So basically, we're just selectively leaving the scale to make cool chords. You can think of diatonic harmony as the most basic set of rules. I teach that mostly on this channel because it's the best place to start. And jazz is just like the rave or the punk kind of crowd of the harmony world. As the old saying goes, you can break the rules once you know them. So to sum up the last turnaround, we've just taken our 3 chord, made it a 7th, and then we ignore the scale, we copy it down to 2, and onto flat 2. Let's look at what we can do with this middle turnaround then. We can play with some more extensions or change the voicing. So let's try our 9th. This is going to be too low, isn't it? So let me go up the octave. Keep the bass like Neil does. Let's try 7th, so we don't go too high. I can see a 9th here. That's kind of getting there. I'm hearing something different. I want the bass to go down, but the melody to go up. Maybe revoice some here. Yeah, I want that E at the top. I'm hearing this. I want that somehow. So let me move that whole chord up there. I'm just going to play with this voicing till it works. I might have to duplicate that E. Remove this. That's not bad. Now, I don't like this D chord. If we make this a ninth, that is an E, but I did want this melody with the C at the top. So if I revoice this E down here. Nope, that's not helped. I'm thinking we don't use chord 4. Maybe... because we know 5 works. Back into A. How can we bridge the 6 and 5? Ah, I know. We can do an elaborate 2-5-1 in the middle of this. We can go 6-2-5-1. But if you remember, I talked about tritone substitutions. Cue the 90s rave music. Yeah, so instead of a 2, we can use a flat 2. That could sound cool. So flat 2 is A sharp. Let's build these extension up. How does this sound? Can I get that C in? Ooh, yes. What happens if we add a C here? That's very close, yes. Just going to look at some alternative voice leading lines, see if I can get this to resolve. That's too weird. I was looking at this line here. This chromatic in the other direction. So we go E, F, F sharp, G. Not bad. Kind of calls attention to itself a little too much. Let's see how this sounds if we come down here. Yes, very jazzy. Perfect. That's what I wanted to do. I like that. So as you can see, this is a great way of finding new chords. I've essentially just brute forced this jazz chord by looking at what we call voice leadings, right? Because I wanted this, down to this, down to this. But we arrived here. I don't even know the name of this chord. I'm going to have a think. Hang on. This is an E. The B is a 5. That's our 7th. Is our flat 9th. That's a flat 11. And the C is a flat 6, isn't it? Yes. So this, let's call it a happy accident, is an E, flat 6, flat 9, flat 11 chord. There we go. The name doesn't really matter, does it? Hopefully you could see how we got there. Let's check this with the vocal. It should work.
Can't stop this feeling 'cause it seems so right. Only you can make me come alive. You can make me come alive. You got my body working overtime. Oh, you send me into overdrive. Send me into overdrive. Can't stop this feeling.
I've just realized why I like the 9th on chord 1 so much. It's because that's where Tasia starts. Okay, let me put that on a bass sound. Let's just start with copying the whole thing. I'm just going to take all the low notes. Here's our bass sound.
Can't stop this feeling 'cause it seems so right. Only you can make me come alive. You can make me come alive. You got my body working overtime. Oh, you send me into overdrive. Send me into overdrive. Can't stop this feeling.
So, there we go. How to make your own jazz house chord progressions without knowing any jazz house chord progressions. Basically, just make it up as you go along. But no, seriously, let me know if you could follow that process and if it helped you. If it did, you know what to do. Leave a like, or even better, subscribe, or leave a comment. Send me some screenshots of some mental chords you've come up with and I'll try and name them. Until then, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.